in place that help us be ready for that change. But then most importantly, that we can accept that change has happened, that we're playing a game, the rules of the game have changed. And now in order to win this new game, we need to go get re-educated. We need to start going after something in a different way. I think it's a really powerful metaphor that you lived that just shows kind of what's possible.
Totally. I will say, Steven, that I was so grateful that that thing was in place. And so I just went back to school, dove in to wanting to be able to help people not get screwed in the financial business, right? Because that's what I did. And so I really wanted to be a change maker in that world. And I've been doing that now for 10 years. And it's just been it's been amazing run.
And so, fast forward, you're running a business, you've had a ton of success in it. I've seen that success over the last, 10 years myself, right?
Yeah.
We've been friends for many years. We've seen and connected with each other and seen that growth. You're at a point where by a lot of means, you've created the life you want. What is next for you? Like, what is that vision for the thing in your personal life, maybe not even in business, that you're excited about and that really gets you out of bed every day?
So what I'm the most excited about right now is really deepening my connection with my family, because I'm a pretty hard charger and I love business, right? And so making it work has had its, strain on my family life. So I definitely am focused and really excited about spending more time with my family than ever and really being home more. That is one of the cool things that happened in the COVID era, if you want to call it that, is that people got used to being on Zoom. Okay. Prior to that, Steven, I had an office in a commercial location and I was doing in-person meetings a lot. And that just all went out the window, completely. And so it allowed me to pursue more of a dream lifestyle, if you might want to call it that, because I was able to move out into a rural setting where I could get my kids outdoors. And I have a 13-year-old boy and my daughter just turned 18, and it's super exciting to be able to be in a place where we can really have more time and more buffer, I guess, to enjoy ourselves.
Yeah, because it's you grind and you go after something and you create this new career, you make that transition, you make the money and the income. And then fortunately, we had this gift, which was by all means very difficult, but we had this gift that ended up changing the rules of business. And it actually allowed you to see for yourself that it was possible to do your business in a different way. Because before that, it was possible. People were doing it, but it was in that ecosystem of how you had ran your business that it felt like, oh, well, I need to be connecting with these people face to face in person. And that allowed you to actually step out and create more of that business the way that you want to. And what I'm curious about, you're a guy, high income earner, you work with a ton of high income earners. People are paying a lot in taxes. And I know you've looked at a bunch of different strategies. Of course, you're not a CPA. This isn't tax advice, but from your experience, what are some of the strategies that you've used to be able to reduce or eliminate active income and be able to save a ton on taxes?
So, Steven, it is very, very, very difficult. There's really two main categories that reduce active income. Of course, there's a lot of things that I don't do right now because they're just getting so incredibly they're just getting to be such hot button triggers, like conservation easements, right? I've stopped doing those a couple of years ago. I don't know if you have many clients.
And those used to be, the widely accepted way to be able to reduce active income.
Yes.
Is you invest in a conservation easement. Why don't you explain what that was, just as an example?
Absolutely. So a conservation easement would work like this. You could put in, let's just call it $100,000 for round numbers, and it would generate somewhere between a 4.8 and a 5.5 multiple on that as a deduction on your active income. So if you put in $100,000 at a 5.2, you'd get $520,000, you wouldn't get $520,000 of cash, but you'd be making $520,000 less. It's a write-off. So if you were in the 40% income bracket, take 520 times 0.4, and that's how much less you're going to be paying in taxes, which obviously is more than the 100 you put in. So it's just those types of strategies, but they're getting more and more frowned on, and I don't do it. I don't do it now. Yeah, my CPA is like, sense. Hey, we're putting the brakes on that. We're putting the brakes on that. So, another thing that works against active income is energy, right? Mm-hmm. So anything in the energy space. The problem with it is it's so highly speculative, right? You literally can lose everything. Okay. It's like, okay, this may hit, this may not, on oil drilling or whatever. So there's that. And then there's solar is another interesting means by which you can write off active income. So there's just a very few things. And then, of course, there's the living in Puerto Rico for 6 months out of the year, 181 days, which I know a lot of people who do that. I have
family who's done it for the last 10 years and they save 50% on taxes. Yeah.
I mean, if you can make that work for you, that, of course, is the coup d'etat. But the thing is there's this cloud hanging over that, that they may change it at any year. It's always, there's a threat of it going away. And I will say that the IRS is absolutely going after Puerto Rican U.S. citizens who do that strategy just to make sure they're 100% compliant. It is very...
You have to check every box.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you have to do it perfect, man. Don't be saying you're down there and then not be down there.
Yeah.
That is what a huge no-no, and they're very much aggressively going after that. So in terms of offsetting active income, the other thing would be getting a spouse that maybe could qualify as a real estate professional, and then being able to invest in real estate and have that be able to, and a joint household income be able to offset active income is another really good possible strategy. And I know a lot of people who do that as well. I mean, real estate is the bomb, right, Steven? But we all can't be real estate professionals. That's the problem.
Well, that's the tough thing. If you're making active income and you're spending majority of your time making that active income on a business, then it's difficult for you as an individual to be a real estate professional, because by the rules that I understand and the regulations that I've read, you have to spend 700 hours doing real estate activities, and it has to be the majority of the time you're spending doing any business related activities. So as somebody who's running a business, or in your case, who is a financial advisor and insurance provider, you're spending majority of your time and you're earning that income actively on your personal income statement rather than on a business. And so that makes it difficult. Now, if your spouse happened to be at home or happened to have a job, but was able to step out of that career because you're making so much more money by saving on that. I've seen a ton of people who the husband or the wife is a doctor and they're making $500,000 or $1 million a year, and the other spouse was a nurse, and that person, the nurse, ends up leaving, and by becoming a real estate professional and using depreciation to write off that active income, her salary, which was once $150, with the tax savings, is now equal to $250 or $300 or $400,000 in the value that she's getting from doing that. So it can be a really powerful strategy, but it only works if one of your of the two partners is able to spend majority of their time focused on that activity.
Totally. Yes, that's exactly my understanding of it as well. And again, I'm not a CPA, but that would be an awesome strategy if you can pull that one off, for sure.
Yeah. And yet the reason why we want to save on taxes is obviously because the government puts out this plan saying, hey, we want you to do these activities, and you follow the rules and regulations to create that incentive. right? By investing in real estate or oil or solar or businesses. And you're able to have a huge write-off as a result. So you're actually just doing what the government wants you to do in order to take advantage of that. Same with conservation easement. They want you to put money into conserving land. So they were creating a write-off, but then they changed the rules later on. And now that strategy no longer is viable. Although, again, it'll likely come back when they clarify the rules. And so it's all about this cycle of having the right experts around you who can advise you and make sure you're making the right moves.
Totally, Steven. I couldn't have said that better. Absolutely.
Thanks for listening to the Investor Mindset Podcast. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you'd like to watch another, here's one up top. And here's another great video right down below.